chapter 3, verse 10, you, however, know all about my teaching. That's what Paul says, okay? He spoke to Timothy. Timothy was a pastor in the church of Ephesus now. And Paul said, you knew all about my teaching, my way of life, my purpose, faith, patience, love, endurance, okay, everything. His faith, his character, his conduct, everything is here. Verse 10. And verse 11, he says, persecutions, sufferings. What kind of things happened to me in Antioch, Iconium, and Lystra? The persecutions I endure. Now, these are the places where Paul faces intense tribulation. And if you remember in the book of Acts, in Lystra, he was stoned to the point of death. And look at these persecutions and hardships. We are in an era where we don't want to talk more about hardship. Now, I'm not saying we should pursue hardship as a form of merit. Now, I'm against that, okay? But we shouldn't shun hardship and sufferings. Some people say, hey, Pastor Vincent, we shouldn't frighten people with sufferings, we shouldn't frighten them. And now, if you think like that and you don't teach people sufferings, how are believers going to generate genuine faith in them beyond their ability? Okay, if they are not taught properly on sufferings, you have to know you will suffer on this earth. You will suffer in this world. You will suffer when you want to live a godly life. You will suffer. Now, listen carefully. I'm just give a short note here. Suffering is not misery. Don't give a direct linkage between suffering and misery. Because if you are taught well, listen, if you are taught well on sufferings, you will experience much more of the power of the Holy Spirit in sufferings. In sufferings, you'll be stirred into total reliance on God. And that is the time you put your trust in His Word, in the truth. And you go to the Word all over again with an upright spirit and read what God had for you. Without suffering, you won't be stirred to read the Word this way. You understand what I'm trying to say? Okay? So, if you shun sufferings, you will never get truly hungry spirits. Okay? I mean, believe it. Okay? Remember, I was sharing, I just came back from Thailand mission trip, some statistics showed Thailand, there are only 0.1, about 0.1% Christians in Thailand, 0.1. That's why the missionaries called Thailand an unreached people group, 0.1%, very, very little. Next is Japan, okay? So Thailand, now people ask, why Myanmar, places like Myanmar has the Karen tribe, believers all over there, and people are coming to the Lord. Why Thailand? No. Now the simple reason I could think of is because this is a nation that haven't been through much sufferings. They have never been through a war-torn situation. Remember, when World War II came, the Japanese came, and just go through, no problem. And if you look at the Thais, I'm not against these people, but I'm talking about why? Well, look at the Thais. They have a very relaxed mindset. Their Buddhism has assimilated into their way of life, their way of thinking. They see everything as destined. Everything, they just take it as it comes. And what they think is, I've done no harm, so no harm will come to me. You see, if you talk to Thai people, they're very polite and all. So if you want to give me your Jesus, thank you very much, but no need, okay? But I respect him, that kind of thing. And even in the churches, the preachers just cannot say very hard message to the Thais because that's not their culture and all. You get what I mean? So on the first day, I don't know, the Spirit came upon me. I just say, I say, you preachers, I talk to missionaries, you preachers, you should be preaching the message of heaven and hell to the Thais. You must tell them the message of sufferings. Give them the reality of the afterlife. Tell them, don't be afraid. And you must pray for the sufferings of the Thai people. And I say that. And believe me, when I say that in the morning, in the evening, the 6.0 magnitude earthquake happened. Really, I mean, I'm not talking about a spiritual earthquake. It's really the earthquake. It hasn't happened in Thailand, northern Thailand, for 3 years. Even the students say, this is the first time we're experiencing shaking, here, Now, you get what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying I'm prophesying or whatever and all. I'm saying it's a message. You cannot, don't be tempted to believe the conversions of souls or the raising of workers will happen without any suffering. Cannot be, okay?